Hey, everybody. I am live here with GE Vernova. We're talking about our industrial future with a couple of really esteemed experts from digital at GE Vernova. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing great, Evan. How are you today?
I am very
Good.
well post Thanksgiving, back into the swing of things, sadly, but intrigued for this conversation. Before we jump in, let's do some personal introductions. GE is a fascinating place, and really curious about where in the organization you gentlemen sit. Prasad, maybe we can start with you.
Sure, Evan. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am part of the product management team with the digital business under GE Vernova. Been with GE coming up on 23 years here, and I work out of the Foxborough, Massachusetts office.
Great, Foxborough, great destination. I'm in Massachusetts, so a big
Oh,
Foxborough fan. All the shopping and sports entertainment there is fabulous. Steve, introduce yourself if you
Yeah,
would.
absolutely. Steve Pavlowski, Vice President of Product Management for the digital business within GE Vernova. Spent my whole career in GE helping customers with automation technology and software technology. So that's 36 years or so at this point. So yeah, just love this space and looking forward to the conversation today.
And we were chatting before. You're a legacy, I believe. You have family
Yeah,
that
that's
work
right.
for GE. That
Both my father and father-in-law worked for GE's power business in Schenectady. I have a brother-in-law that spent many years in a variety of businesses, ended his career at the medical business. So yeah, that was not I grew up in Schenectady, and that was not uncommon to have GE families in that area.
that's amazing. I'll have to. I went to school in Schenectady, so we have to share anecdotes about living in upstate New York at some point.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive in. Maybe you can start by giving us an introduction. Who is GE Vernova, and what's the vision behind the software suite, the tools that you provide to customers?
So sure. So GE Vernova is sort of the or GE Digital, the digital business within GE Vernova is the software focused business. We bring software technology to three different key markets. I represent the product team responsible for delivering software for manufacturers to help them improve their operations and productivity. We have a business focused on power generation and oil and gas, really
Mm,
about asset reliability in those industries. And then we have a business focused on grid orchestration, so the control of the flow of electricity from the point of generation, whether that's traditional gas turbines or renewable sources, to substations, and then from substations to the point of use.
wow, that's
So
quite
yeah,
a broad portfolio. I'm
yeah.
having flashbacks to my electrical engineering days. So a lot of good stuff to decode there. And what are there are a lot of trends that you're riding on top of when it comes to industrial innovation, opportunities, challenges. We're seeing changing business models, the skill set challenges, the drive towards sustainability. I mean, Prasad, how do you feed into all this change and disruption that's happening and kind of help your customers stay, one step ahead of what's happening in the industry?
yeah, great question, Evan. And when you look at our software portfolio is kind of designed to help solve customers' manufacturing problems or operational problems. And what we've been seeing with a lot of our customers is a need to get that extra bit of optimization in their operations that will drive flexibility, that will drive agility in their operations, that will help them be more competitive in the market. And you hear a lot about AI, ML, and investments
Mm,
in all of these analytics technologies. But I think what most of our customers are starting to realize is that to be effective at AI, ML, they need the right amount of data, or the data that they have in their operations in the right format, so that they can feed into these optimization algorithms or their ML based adoption that they are having. And we are starting to see a lot of customers ask us around how can we help them bring their operational data, their data at the OT level as well as the IT level together to help them with their initiatives as they look at transforming their operations, or even look at um, innovating some newer products that the newer generation is adopting nowadays.
Yeah, great points, great insights. And Steve, would you add some color commentary to that? It's also a people challenge, right? It's a team challenge. It's a
It is a
distributed
people
work
challenge,
challenge
right?
as well,
Yeah, and
right?
it's so interesting as we talk to customers about, the investments in technology companies are making today, often because they can't either attract people into the manufacturing space.
Mm.
They need to modernize to be able to attract new workers, and even when they can get them, often manufacturing locations are not always in the most desirable places to live, and so keeping them is difficult. So there's a lot of focus on both automation and being able to bring that data up and create value from it, perhaps without people. But when you've got people, there's a big focus on potential high turnover and how do they use data and make it attractive, modern in terms of the user experience, but also tailored to the specific job that the person is going to be doing. Because the tools today, the software today really often has to lead an operator that doesn't necessarily have a lot of experience on a piece of equipment or on an area of the production floor, to make the right decisions. And so this whole notion of composable user experiences, so that our customers can take the data coming out of systems and actually create displays and applications tailored specifically to the operators in their environments is a big trend that we're seeing.
That's fascinating. The other driver, Prasad, is sustainability. That seems to be job one for every manufacturer, OEM that I speak with, telco. What is the role there of your solution suite in staying ahead of the sustainability curve?
Absolutely, Evan. And we have a big focus on sustainability. I'd mentioned earlier that a lot of our software portfolio focuses on helping our customers drive optimization and efficiency in their operations. So if
Hmm.
you look at our software portfolio, we are in the best position to actually capture the impact of sustainability, or help customers even measure the waste or the usage, or even when it comes to energy utilization in their operations. We capture all of that data. We help customers monitor all of that data. And now we are getting into a phase where we are now starting to um, connect that information with the products that they manufacture, help them with optimization on certain conditions where they utilize less of energy, as an example, or generate less of waste based on the products they manufacture and things like that. So we're getting to the next level from just monitoring to helping them optimize in how they use their resources.
So just following on to that, Prasad, I mean, I'm sensing the theme data, data, data here. And, in manufacturing, data is now king, queen, and the kingdom. And analytics and predictive analytics have become super critical to success. So how do you help with that? How does your platform, your tool suite help with that sort of challenge?
Right. So if you think about our Proficy suite, our Proficy suite is an end-to-end solution. So it goes right from your manufacturing asset that could be as simple as a pump, or as complex as uh, a capping
Hmm.
machine. And it sounds simple when we say a capping machine, but the speed at which it operates is amazing. So our software starts at basically helping our customers operate as well as capture data from these equipments. And then as the data travels through the edge right up to the next level where we work towards deciding on orchestrating or helping with the scheduling of their manufacturing, helping how efficiently they can produce product. And then we, obviously, a lot of our customers use our industrial data historian, where all of the information goes in. So we have software that can trace the data right where at the source where it gets created, right up to when a product is shipped out, and all of that genealogy of the data is captured by us, and we have the ability to present it. We have the ability to do analytics on top of it. So I think that's where our sweet spot lies in terms of how we help our customers.
Yeah, I would add there, right? We're actually just introducing a solution right now which helps customers optimize using AI and ML based techniques, optimize energy utilization, understand where do they have leakage, where are they consuming energy when they're not producing, help them, even with even optimize their energy spend on heating and cooling of a plant, which can be a very large percentage of the energy spend. So it's not just sort of analysis, which a lot of folks can do, but we actually deliver closed loop control. So making changes back to the process, tweaking the process to maintain quality and throughput and efficiency of the process while reducing, effectively solving for a reduction in energy or other utility resources. It could be water, it could be natural gas, it could be compressed air, right? All of those are important to manage, just like you're managing your raw material, right? Effectively, energy today has to be treated as a raw material into the process, but also into the sort of production environment. And the traditional often many of the optimization techniques we've used to help customers, produce more efficiently, those same types of tools can be used to focus on efficiency of the energy resources.
Yeah, and just to quickly add to that, we've our software now actually allows customers to go even beyond a single site. So if they want to do a multi-site optimization or do a benchmarking across their different sites as to how does one site perform versus the other, the software allows them to bring all of this data centrally and do this comparison as well as optimization that Steve mentioned as well across their multiple sites.
Interesting. And I'm actually reading on your site here, only 3% of data is tagged and analyzed. Why is that? That seems like a phenomenally low number. And how do you help overcome that? That's a lot of data wasted.
Yeah, I call it, there's kind of like this data bit bucket, right? It just, only, and it depends, right? I mean, there's a McKinsey study saying it's 1% of data that's produced in manufacturing is used to actually create decisions and make value. And some of it's just the vast amount of data that, sensors coming into PLCs or smart sensors on buses like MQTT are generating. And you have to be able to then collect that data, store that data, put that data in context to solve, and then understand what business problem needs to be solved. So some of it is just understanding, the business problem, and then looking at the data sets, what data is available to help make those business decisions. But some of it's been the cost to store the data. And that's one of the things, we've put a big focus on transforming our portfolio to be cloud-based. And part of that is leveraging the power of the cloud, the storage and capabilities that the cloud provides to dramatically reduce the cost of data storage and enable customers to effectively store data almost for free, and then they pay as they're starting to create value, and they can do that across all of their sites. They can bring all of their OT data into one common infrastructure that helps them with that sort of cross enterprise analysis. And so I think one of those first stumbling blocks is it traditional technology, it's been expensive just to store data. That's changing today. And now there's all right, now you've got data. Now how do I know what's the context of that data? Was this temperature collected when I was making this product? So we provide that level of context, which then lets the analytic tools of the customer's choice, or whether that be ours or others, create value from that data. But there's a whole series of barriers, and the data is available. It's a matter of, you got to start with the collection. You got to start with normalizing and cleaning that, understanding that data, context, and then how do you apply that data to solve a particular business problem, whether that's efficiency gains on a process, quality, solving quality issues, productivity issues. The data, as you said, right, the data is super valuable if you understand the business problem that you're trying to solve for. And if you've stored the data, right, it's really a matter then of creating that linkage between what data do you have that can help you optimize for whatever business outcome you're trying to drive.
Fantastic. And AWS reInvent is this week, which I've been watching with interest. I imagine that's a great destination for this massive data store, among others, that I saw you working closely with on deploying. So you have the data problem, which is something you're helping overcome. What about this notion of, really all organizations, but especially manufacturing, have so many silos and lack of sort of ownership when it comes to data management? How do you deal with those challenges?
So Evan, I think in part it's kind of working with the customer as well. I think there's a level of maturity the customer needs to get to. As Steve mentioned, there are multiple barriers, and like you mentioned, I think we often find out that there's a lack of ownership as to who drives the normalization of the data, and most of these manufacturing operations get created in a very autonomous manner, where the each individual site gets to decide what how they build, what it's kind of focused on what product they want to ship out of the factory. So a lot of times there is a challenge in terms of how that particular site deals with the data versus how it is supposed to be dealt with at an enterprise level. And many times, as Steve mentioned, it helps when you define what business problem you want to solve. The business problem becomes the center stage of driving these projects, of bringing multiple functions that probably own this data together to get it in one place and start driving for solving these problems. So it has to, in most cases we have seen over and over, if our customers just go in saying, oh, we need to do a data management project, or we need to do, a lot of people call it source data management or master data management project, most of those projects fail. When you go with a business problem to say, this is what we want to solve, that kind of cascades into, okay, what kind of data do we need to bring together for it? And that's when all functions work together. And that's what we have seen work well. And we kind of work with our customers in partnership to drive what may be, whether it's normalization at the OT level, whether it's integration with their enterprise tools, kind of an architecture of how they can bring this data together.
Oh, fantastic. And how would you describe Proficy, your go-to software platform? Is it a framework? Is it a soft set of tools, a family? What? Maybe give us some color on what Proficy is exactly.
And you may have listeners out there that have used Proficy in the past, and today it's a set of good tools. Where we've taken the Proficy platform with some significant investment over the past couple of years is truly a fully integrated suite of everything from data collection, HMI SCADA functionality for visualizing and interacting with the plant floor, historizing of that data, all the way up through manufacturing execution systems and analytic capabilities, all with a common user experience, all with common administrative tools. So customers, can get value from any component. We have many customers that just use our HMI SCADA platform to visualize and interact with their process equipment. They could layer in historian capability to store that data over long terms to be doing trends and other analytics. They can layer in analytic capabilities. They can layer in manufacturing execution systems, or we have customers that are just using our MES solution or just our historian. So it's a platform. It's an integrated suite that can be used either as an entire platform or as individual components to deliver value to solve whatever problem the customer is trying to solve.
Oh, fantastic!
And I think the other thing we've made, as I mentioned before, is much of it we've moved so that it could be deployed depending on how the customer wants to run it. Do they want to run it on-prem? Do they want to run it in the cloud? Do they want to run it do they want to manage it? Do they want us to run it as a SaaS offering? So, lots of choices today that help them, align with their sort of IT practices, as well as leveraging sort of the speed and the flexibility that the cloud gives them, right? There's no supply chain waiting for a server to show up. They can have a system up and running, for products that they acquire out of, say, the Amazon Marketplace. You brought up Amazon, or the Azure Marketplace. They can subscribe and products up and running in an hour, and as opposed to waiting for a server to show up, buying a license, installing it. Everything gets accelerated through the cloud.
Fantastic. And you have lots of customers. I imagine you can't talk about all of them, and you don't want to name your favorite children. But do you have any anecdotes, Prasad or Steve, on some favorite use cases or examples of what customers are doing with Proficy?
Sure. I mean, again, as you mentioned, and given that our suite kind of covers a broad range of industries, we go anywhere from utility industries to batch manufacturing, which could be food and beverage, or pharma, to discrete, which could be automotive, semiconductors.
Wow.
I think we have plenty of interesting applications where wastewater customers, as Steve mentioned, start with our basic SCADA systems and then eventually expand into doing some advanced solutions like stormwater management, or doing analytics on the treatment chemicals that they add, or the energy that is utilized when they treat wastewater, as an example. We have many fascinating manufacturing examples, especially when it comes to food and beverage or CPG companies. The criticality of those operations in terms of the profitability that they run on. There are many examples of optimization across food and beverage or CPG companies. We have a whole range of pharma customers who rely on our software for compliance.
Wow.
As well as some of their validating systems that they put in, and then we probably, I think, Steve, we would have like the top 8 of the auto manufacturers as our customers. That
Oh wow.
The world's largest semiconductor customers, the largest food and bev and consumer packaged goods, the biggest automotive manufacturers, right? So, really enterprise scale customers.
Yes.
Can get value as well as single site small water utilities, right? It's really a powerful, scalable platform that helps customers of really any scale get value. And
fantastic.
There is a bunch, and I know you were sort of scrolling there on the website, right? There's ge.com/digital. There's a bunch of customer stories up there, so your listeners can go take a look at real customer, use cases that and understand sort of the business challenges we've helped them solve.
That's fantastic. Mission. So you're in product management. So you're looking at the vision and direction of customer requirements. And anything general direction wise, you can talk about where things are going, what customers are looking at in the next year, 2, 5, as far as the overall direction of Industry 4.0 or 5.0, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you've asked about a number of those things, right? So how do they create value from data? How do they get data in the right context to the right operators? The use of AI and ML to create additional insights into that data and inclusive of predictive insights. Contextualizing data via data models and making that data available. Merge traditional OT data with in their data lake so that they can combine transactional data with OT data, right? It's really all about creating value from the data and enabling people to make the best decisions to drive, the quality, the reliability, the efficiency of their manufacturing operations.
Oh, fantastic. And Prasad, I mean, you and Steve are working hard to stay on top of customer requirements. How do you stay on top of the industry, Prasad? What do you what do you read? What do you consume? Are there
Well,
organizations internally, externally that allow you to keep on top of all the latest trends in industrial manufacturing?
yeah, so we there are multiple ways we keep
Hmm.
in touch. We obviously have regular cadences with analysts,
Hmm.
kind of get their feedback on what they are seeing as trends. Um, we have a customer advisory group that
Oh,
meets
nice.
frequently, so we kind of hear directly from customers as to what are some of their challenges that they are facing, or what are some of the transformations that they're thinking of. Um, we obviously have regular customer success managers that have a pulse
Hmm.
with our customers, and our product management team as well as the engineering team kind of engages with some of these customers to get feedback. And just some of it is listening to where the customers are going. Some of it is innovative ideas that come from our product managers as well as from engineers, where we validate it with our partners, our customers, because sometimes you also have to guide the customers towards what could the future be, because a lot of the customers are
Yeah,
kind
sort of trusted advisory kind of services. Yeah, for sure.
right, because a lot of customers are kind of focused on their problems and where they want to go, but don't realize that there may be other solutions that could solve those problems more effectively and can
Hmm.
position them better. So it's kind of a give and take relationship with a regular cadence with customers as well. And we Gartner has listed us as a leader in some of the solutions that we have, and
Nice.
we're definitely a VOC customers choice on a lot of the surveys as well. So
Well done.
that's basically that.
Fantastic. And what do you, we're winding down the year here. What are you looking forward to the rest of the year? Any travel or events or trips? Or are you heads down till next year?
So right now, I think it is we are kind of getting ready to close out on our release that we will the portfolio release that we will have. You may or some of your listeners might have listened to the launch of our 2024 portfolio release. So we are
Mm.
kind of wrapping that up, and then we've just started engaging for our next year's execution. What are the new ideas, what are the new customer experiences that we want to engage with, and in fact actually enlisting some of the customers who are willing to partner with us on the execution for next year. So that's
Fantastic. Well, it's an exciting time to be where you are. And gentlemen, thanks so much for just sharing a little bit of your vision and go to market. Really exciting for those interested in manufacturing, which increasingly is such a pivotal part of our society. So well done. And folks, reach out to GE Digital with any questions, comments. They're pretty active on social. I'm sure would love to connect. So thank you very much, guys.
Thanks,
Hey, thank
Evan.
you. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.